So, there are tons of concepts in life that I could make videos about, and that's kind of the mix of all the concepts I can find. But the best way to do it is through gameplay, playing some kind of game. Something just happened with the Taylor Swift story. She's supposed to be like keeping lava as a hostage, basically. And we have to rescue with the rest of the aces. Get enough scores or whatever Taylor Swift comes up with at that particular time. So I finally nailed down how the rules are gonna work. So I'm just gonna have a blast playing with myself, guys. Oh my god. How does that even work? You basically watch people's personalities and you can react to them. Right? You can let them into your heart and let them act as if you're playing in a huge dollhouse of real life. But the coolest part is that is what I told last time when I talked about the first blackout. When I talked about my dream. Right? That's what love is copying yourself or other people into yourself. For now, they're famous, right? It's easier to do it for me than it is mutually. It's fine. Things can flip around. I can turn the tables. And I have to have the enough courage to actually say that. It's crazy, right? Can I become Taylor Swift famous? Oh my god. Well, the cool thing is you can write her name like this. Now the one is a bit iffy actually. I just know that she likes number 13, so yep. I just thought it would be nice if all the numbers in her name would actually add to 13. I guess 1 isn't that bad. There's also some kind of weird thing happening at this when you place a D here. 7 days or what? It's almost like the name is trying to say something. I overplayed it, I swear, but I love symbolism as well. I think it's one more thing that is missing, and there's so many things are missing in life right now. Now that I realize, wow. There are lots of connections that can be made over the internet. Oh, internet is too big of a place. Everyone's spread out at doing their different things, and it actually feels quite dark when this happens, right? When you do something, it feels less meaningful because it's less connected with everything else, right? And even though I like card games or whatever, this I feel was the best transition for me to just go into something completely different. Abandon quite a big chunk of my programming because I'm still very much interested in doing it. I just don't have the time or even energy. Every single time I sit down to my computer, I just don't have the energy to do it. I don't know. The thought of programming just drains my soul away. It's just so difficult, so insane. It's almost like you're left on Iceland or something. It's just it's tough, right? But it's worth it. Something big is coming, right? And I have to make sure that at least I have a perfect idea that I want to realize when my engine is out, because I do recognize that my engine actually has so much potential, so much power alongside that potential, and then everything else that I can do would amplify it and I have to make sure that I'm doing more than my engine, that I actually create a personality that people want to discover. That is what I am counting on. And along with a great personality comes great challenge to understand what life even is, and making sure that regular principles of family and love are not big deals for me. Like, I understand all the concepts, not lived through the concepts, because living through them doesn't make big of a difference, because you have to also think through it. And sometimes people shut off eventually. They just give up on thinking. It happens because there's just too much seeming trauma when you look back into your life. There's so many people who have rejected you. There's so many decisions you have made because of those rejections. And life doesn't actually work that way. You're not supposed to be rejected. In fact, one big feature that life is missing right now is some kind of form of currency that is smaller than money itself, right? And more impactful. Something that you can collect and then throw at another person and get a response. Force a person to respond to you. And because you cared so much, you have collected this huge collection of care, and you have dedicated a portion to a specific person, so they have to respond. This is almost like a roast fest, because if you don't respond and the person had made a huge, first impression for everyone else, you're gonna be losing. It would open up to a crazy battle royale besides this one, right? This is just me playing battle royale. Imagine everyone else, entire world, starting to play a game. That would be pretty insane, right? If the entire world was inspired to actually poke each other and learn new things about life, completely new. Because I've been learning that, and I don't see life being great at all the way it is. I think it's a bit too cold. It's just like programming, really. I'm just allowed to be in my head as long as I want, even though it's like the most dangerous thing to stay in your head. Imagine that, right? Ultimate creeper? Yeah, that's me. Funny thing was, I stumbled upon this picture. Can you see what's perfect about it? We literally have werewolf, vampire, zombie, and the creeper. Mummy. But I say a creeper. It looks like a fucking creeper, by the way. It's not a mummy. It's a giant blob of something else that has a very creepy face. It is something else. It's almost like you can unwrap it, but you're not supposed to. It's so amazing, so deep, that they actually managed to make this perfect thing that I just paused on, and I'm like, oh wait, damn, that is a perfect team that they just made in Transylvania. I'm not exactly buying into the whole thing. I'm not sure what Selena Gomez has to do with this, just voicing, or is there, something else in there? Because I don't know how much I want to buy into this as well. Because she's not a vampire, she's also a creeper personality. That's important. It's important who voices in this case, because I'm basically bought into this movie because of Selena, because she's one of my aces. I have to, collect the points and shit. I have to be impressed. I have to keep the aces closest to my heart and everyone else as far away as possible. That's the game. And right now I'm being challenged, which is very fun. I also started to feel like, oh man, I'm just literally, it's not a battle royale, I'm just literally looking for the hottest girl on the internet. That's what I'm looking for right now. And the new edition of Hotshot, I don't know, I don't want to show pictures that I collect. I admit, I care about this stuff as a creeper. Firstly, because I don't have anything else to do, but that's kind of what life I wanted anyways, so I'm super happy, right? This team could go big if hotness is what I'm looking for, and that's kind of the only measure that works. But funny enough, as best of a cosplayer you are, or a porn star, or just a celebrity that dresses nice, which is literally the whole team right now, you're still going to fail in the emotional side, because that's not what I'm looking for, right? When I'm looking through the profiles and looking through all the data, I'm looking for a story, not a pretty picture, not just super sexy jitsu, you know? I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to buy into a story. And every girl has their own, quirk. But no one really, bought me, you're the hottest person on the internet. That didn't happen. Besides Selena Gomez, actually. Selena has just too many pictures. Too many points. I don't know what's gonna happen, but she's winning. Let's put it that way. I don't want to spoil it, but I already spoiled it. If she wins the title, you'll get another video about it. It's great. I believe that universe is pretty perfect. So for the title of the video, I'm putting know what you want. Seems very simple idea, and the videos should get heavier and heavier as we go along to the dark side of how complicated everything can be, and what are the most biggest things you can fear about. I can introduce you to the biggest fear you will not wrap your head around very easily, because I wasn't. As long as I knew, I couldn't figure it out. Everything could be playing around you. The entire world could be playing around you. Everything can be fake. You could just give up on breathing, you don't know what your previous life was. You're just totally fooled into living right now. That is interesting. You could also be fooled into living an eternal life that you just forgot. How you were born. How everything is just a cycle of forgetfulness. And then you start to fade into super darkness, where you're not sure what's gonna happen when you start knowing things, right? When you start realizing that, everything could just flip on top of me. I could just destroy a mental building that would just collapse on top of me, and you don't want to do that. It's crazy. There's so many thoughts that you can think of that would just make you go crazy. Is that what I want to explore? That's what I explored when I didn't sleep for 5 days. It was a meme. After the third day, I was 7 days. And you're gonna get to meet PewDiePie. If you survive without sleep 7 days. More. Or at least 7 days, that would be epic. And I survived 5 days without sleep. I was doing many things without even touching a computer. That was so intense. And memorable. And scary in the very end. Not because I was sleepless, but more like I have collected so many thoughts and numbness of everything, and the stories just collapsed on the top of each other. It was a crazy moment. But it was fun, and again, memorable. And I guess I've learned something. It's almost like I'm actually missing that from my life, or a lot of people are missing that from their lives. Like, ultimate challenge to make them fear of everything. The fact that they are not doing enough, or the fact that they're doing too much, and don't sit down and procrastinate, which is how you actually get productive sometimes. You freeze and look around yourself and make sure that you're using all the resources that you actually have. Right? That's the reason to procrastinate, is to look around your environment and maybe stop using the same thing over and over again to get where you want. That's usually what happens in Hearthstone, right? You grind the same deck to get somewhere where you might not even want to go. Knowing what you want requires procrastination and trying to achieve things, right? Getting inspired and grabbing the opportunity when it's there. And the scariest part is that the opportunity can knock at your door at any moment. For me, I just keep my attitude as calm as possible. And now I kind of like to reject people. I kind of like to be an asshole, right? Because they will never understand me. They will never get to my level. And my level could be crazy, or my level could be new age, right? You never know whether I am good or evil as an outcome to your life. I could be crazy or I could be new age. What does it come down to, honestly? What is the thing that would determine whether I am the new age bringer? In which case, I have the map, right? I understand that the internet is gonna collect a new country. Is gonna, find us new land to explore. As we had America popular for so long, ruling the language and the entertainment that we get. They ruled the world for so long. It's about time to change, for a change. I think I'm getting tired of the clean format, the narcissistic format, and this brainwashing format where people don't actually care about anything. They just do things right at the start, and then they just repeat whatever the followers want them to do. And in the end, you just have big people who are very popular, but they have to do what the fans want. And that's very awkward. Knowing what you want, right? One of the biggest dreams is to get there, is to get that land, and to get all the stars to pop from their popularity, because they're not supposed to be that popular, right? They have to live normal lives as well in the end in order to enjoy life. One of the most enjoyable things that I've achieved during this weird life experience is, in fact, taking every little thing and expanding it to infinity, right? Thinking that everything holds incredible value, and I will never be able to consume the entire world for its, how smart it is. Something like that would knock me out. There's so many things to do. And if you secure boredom, if you destroy boredom from the rest of your life, if you know what you want to do for the rest of your life, which is the biggest wish hiding in there, in this little realm, what exactly is. So knowing what you want to do for the rest of your life, that is what you have to figure out. How to defeat the biggest evil in your life, which is awareness that you live, sadly. You have to defeat that. Because boredom will always give you this weight. Will always start questioning you, why do you live? Right? And then it's contagious, you're going to start asking yourself, what's the meaning of life anymore, right? And you go that path, but then you realize you have to create that meaning, you have to forget of how deep the rabbit hole goes, because you will never get to the other side. You will never be God of this world. Or you want to kill yourself? See, this begins. This is where it all begins. This question mark right there. It's sad, it's beautiful, it's crazy, and there has to exist just enough things to make things crazy, and just enough things to make things beautiful. Just enough. Everything hangs in the balance, but it hangs. And you have to appreciate the fact that there is no God. That would destroy what you have. Because, well, things... See, the moment I can start a sentence that's supposed to conclude the whole thing, it continues on forever, because it's balance, right? It always tries to explain itself, because there's so much in it that controls the world. That's all you have to know. It's that simple. It's simple because that's the balance, right? It's simple to say that it's complicated. It's so crazy. So we're gonna explore exactly this road to infinite weird metaphors, but most importantly, the game. How is the game gonna be played? What characters am I gonna introduce? How are they different from each other? How are they unique? Because the real challenge is to introduce as many unique characters as possible. That is the goal of the game. For me, that's where I get the points. Everyone else get the points for being unique, while I get the points for playing the game. So here you go. More rules have been discovered. Let's continue playing.